Undoubtedly, the biggest event of the summer is upon us. This weekend, we have SummerSlam 2015, a 4-hour spectacular, the longest SummerSlam in history. And I gotta say, I'm really excited. I'm gonna quickly talk through the 10 matches, their build-up, potential results, and twists and turns here and there that could actually take place, and things we can expect to see at this event. However, before I begin, I do have to say I'm a little bit disappointed looking at the match card. Not of the matches themselves, but the stipulations of the matches. There's nothing non-standard in terms of the fact that there are like 5 singles matches, a few tag team matches. Sure, there is a fatal 4-way tag team match, a 3-team elimination match, a triple threat, but at the same time, there's nothing like a no holds barred, a no DQ, no steel cage matches, nothing that's exciting off the bat really in terms of a stipulation, which is a little bit disappointing considering the massive build-up that there is towards SummerSlam. Of course, I'm going to straight away talk about what I believe is one of the less exciting storylines, that is Dolph Ziggler and Rusev. I mean, honestly, the storyline is far more exciting because of Lana and Summer Rae, even though their inclusion in the storyline when it began all those weeks ago on Raw seemed really forced. Everyone just wants to see Lana get into the ring, get in action. I feel like, of course, at ringside there's going to be some kind of action taking place, which will be great to see, and will actually get the fans excited, because I feel like this is one of those filler matches. Dolph Ziggler couldn't do much with the build-up. He was away shooting a film over the past few weeks, so this match is going to take place. I'm pretty sure it's not going to have any major repercussions on Raw or SmackDown. Another match I'm really excited for. First, I was thinking there'd probably be 2 different Divas matches, but since it's a 3-team elimination match, it's great. I mean, the Divas Revolution is something I haven't been able to talk about, actually. I think it's something very important, considering the day and age that we live in. You know, the way on social media, especially, things like equality are very important, more apparent, more relevant, and more sought after nowadays. So, just this Divas Revolution in general is something I'm very excited about. I mean, Sasha Banks, she's got the incredible attitude and ring and screen presence about her. Charlotte's skill is impeccable, and Becky Lynch is just a pure badass. So I'm very happy at the fact that these 3 are being brought on. Eventually, divas like Eva Marie will be brought on in the future. And this match, of course, I'm pretty sure Team PCB, the recently renamed PCB after calling them, sillily enough, the Submission Sorority, as if that would not cause any kind of controversy. I'm pretty sure they're going to win. They're the only real face amongst this. Team Bella, they're slowly getting sidelined, and I feel like at the next pay-per-view, there's going to be a title match for the Divas Championship, and Nikki Bella will finally lose, because I think at this point, her reign hasn't been that exciting. It's gotten stretched for too long. There are rumors and speculation that it's been stretched on just to beat AJ Lee's record, which is fair. It's understandable from WWE's perspective. However, at this point, I feel like the next pay-per-view that's going to be Night of Champions in September should be the one where there is that title change, whether it's to Paige or Sasha Banks or anyone. I'm really hoping that that is the case. However, this match itself, I think, is going to be a pretty long match. You're looking at what could potentially be one of the longest Diva matches in history, let alone in the past few years. A 15, solid, maybe even 20-minute match would be awesome to see. I think they have incredible skill, and some of the Divas matches lately have been really well coordinated, and that's something I'm really excited about. And Sasha Banks beating Nikki Bella just recently going into the match, I think it's a great move, to be honest. I think that just elevates Sasha Banks all the way up there and just pushes Team Bella so far down. Brie Bella has taken so many losses lately, so unnecessarily, to tell you the truth. And I think, you know, she's always been, well, at least through this reign of Nikki Bella, has kind of been shadowing Nikki to some extent, which is not fair because she has great skill. I think the crowd does appreciate Brie Bella just a tad bit more nowadays because they've maybe seen less of her. That's something that, you know, tends to, of course, increase a superstar's appeal if they're not, you know, shoved down your throat. John Cena. And I think that, you know, I want to see them do more work with the Bellas, especially Alicia Fox, who's part of Team Bella. She's the one that has gotten the least push through any of this so far. Moving on, another singles match. Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. And before I continue on, the matches that Kevin Owens, of course, put up with Cena were great, although he should not have lost at Battleground. He should have walked away with the United States Championship. I will stand by that to this date. However, Cesaro put up what is undoubtedly two of the best matches of the year. One with Owens on Raw and one with Cena on Raw. And my God, I mean, just such incredible in-ring talent Cesaro has. The Cesaro section thing is great. The crowd is loving him. I feel like whoever wins this match, they're both going to walk out victorious in some sense. It's going to be one of those matches where even after the victor leaves the stage, you're still going to have the loser standing up, raising his hand, getting appreciation from the crowd, because I feel like both of them have equal reason to win. Cesaro is being built up as one of those people that is, you know, a potential next big thing, a future champion, say, in the coming months or a year from now. And Kevin Owens also had the same build-up a few months ago, but the problem with Owens now is that he's lost a lot of his matches lately. He's been, I wouldn't say jobbing, but he's just been losing. All those tag team matches that take place on SmackDown are, of course, just for the faces to rise and for the heels to fall. And I mean, at this point, I think Owens needs a victory more than Cesaro, but this match could, I think, and hopefully will, push both of them to the forefront. To some extent, a win-win. However, I think Cesaro will have that upper hand in terms of in-ring ability, unless there is some strange kind of interference. Because, again, Owens is likely to lose at NXT TakeOver to Finn Balor, who's going to keep the championship, so you don't want him to lose 2 in a row, unless it's some kind of setup for a future storyline over the next few months. Moving on, a really interesting new tag team match is taking place. Neville and the Green Arrow, Stephen Amell, are taking on Stardust and King Barrett. I love the build-up to this. I mean, the whole comic booky, weird kind of element that they've introduced to this storyline is, of course, appealing to a whole new section of fans. And at the same time, it just gives it something fresh, something interesting to look at. And apart from the cross-promotion, is going to be a very exciting match to watch. Considering that one moment where Stephen Amell jumped into the ring, I think he's been training a lot. And I mean, physically, he is a fit guy. But will he be able to hold his own? I would certainly hope so. While, of course, Neville is going to obviously do the Red Arrow and probably finish the match off. I really want to see this be more than just a good tag team match. I want this to be a big superheroes versus supervillains kind of match. And I think that has the potential to be so if there's a lot of... if the referee gets knocked out, you're going to have the supervillains obviously being cheeky. And then maybe Stephen Amell not only comes in costume, maybe Stephen Amell brings out a couple of arrows. There's no way Neville and Stephen Amell are losing this match. But I'm really looking forward to this just to see what they do. I do not believe it will be the match of the night, but I think there is so much potential. This probably has, amongst the matches, one of them with the most potential for really branching out and doing something new. Moving on, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match between the Primetime Players, the New Day, Los Matadores, and the Lucha Dragons is taking place. While I can safely say that Los Matadores is not going to win, it's really hard to call this match. I think the Primetime Players, they won a couple of months ago. They could continue on their reign. We don't tend to see, at least in this past year, we haven't seen any tag team win back the title, so the New Day could win. But if for nothing else, I can tell you for a fact, after the Primetime Players and the New Day finish their runs, the Lucha Dragons will be the champions. They're so hot right now. I think any of those three teams winning would be great. Of course, the Los Matadores would just be an ultimate twist. Although having the same match take place on Raw was kind of unnecessary because it takes away from the excitement. I think a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match is going to have some bizarre stuff. If you remember the Elimination Chamber, well, the 14-man Elimination Chamber that took place with the tag teams, I mean, there was like a 7-man suplex and just crazy moves going on. So there is going to be some of that. You're going to see a lot of finishers galore. You're going to see people teaming up. You're going to see the Primetime Players and the Lucha Dragons teaming up. You're going to see the New Day and Los Matadores potentially teaming up. And it's going to be chaotic because Unlike that match on Raw, however, it's a fatal 4-way, so there will be 4 men in the ring at the time, and there is no disqualification, so you're going to have a lot of interference from Xavier Woods, who is, in my opinion, one of the best performers today. Even though he wrestles the least amongst the New Day, just his ringside presence is incredible. He has this ability to just... He's not annoying, but he is that dickish character, and he plays it to perfection. He is the most charismatic, I think, amongst the New Day, at least on the mic, and he's the most unique, eccentric, and weird character, and one of the weirdest characters WWE has today, apart from like Stardust and stuff. And I love watching Xavier Woods, to be honest. Moving on, a tag team match that has the potential to set up a lot of future storylines. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns versus the Wyatt family, that is Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Of course, at Battleground, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns took place, which had a pretty decent build-up. So you could say this match has almost a 2-month build-up now, and I gotta say, I'm excited, but I'm also a little worried because I'm 100% sure. While, yes, I do not want this to go further in terms of a storyline, just because for the past 5 weeks, we knew that at least a Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns match was going to take place, or a Luke Harper match with Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose, and we knew that was coming. So for the past 5 weeks, we have seen constant single matches take place that just have these unclean finishes with interferences and all kinds of foul play, whether it's Roman Reigns, whether it's Bray Wyatt or Luke Harper. And I'm kind of getting sick of that, just seeing matches not actually being finished on Raw. I feel like nowadays, yes, while some incredible matches are taking place on Raw, including that Neville and Rollins match, which I'll talk about in just a moment, a lot of the matches, when the storyline is built off far too early, you know there's going to be interference, and it's kind of a waste. It's kind of a waste, and I feel like, look, the pay-per-views now are doing really well, maybe even better than some of the pay-per-views a few years ago, but you should not do that at the expense of your weekly show. And I feel like there's just too many of those matches taking place, way too many of those matches taking place, wherein, oh, Luke Harper's going to interfere and save Bray Wyatt, vice versa. I don't like that, which is why I'm hoping that there's an interesting twist in the storyline, because there has to be a twist. This is not going to be a clean win for Ambrose and Reigns. Who, of course, if there's any winner at all, it's going to be Ambrose and Reigns. I love the brotherhood they share, and while it's least likely that Roman Reigns is going to turn, it's also not likely that Dean Ambrose is going to turn. There were rumors that Eric Rowan will return, and Sting could join. That's just bizarre. It's not likely, but you never know. It's SummerSlam, so there could be someone returning, and I want to see that, or a big face to heel turn. And while speculation suggests Dean Ambrose, I think Roman Reigns might actually be a better move, although with the whole Battleground build up, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense at this point. So with this, if I'm saying anything at all, it's that I love the camaraderie of Ambrose and Reigns. I hope there are no turns and this storyline just comes to an end, though unfortunately you and I both know that's not going to happen. Moving on, another match that, well, it should have finished at Battleground, should have taken place. Ryback, The Miz, and The Big Show. I'm so psyched for this match because it is amongst the most unpredictable. Ryback just became champion. It would be awesome to see him continue as champion. He just had his injury, so this match couldn't take place at Battleground, and his return has been nothing short of awesome. The Big Show is the largest athlete in sports entertainment, and the way they've been showing him lately in whatever few matches have been taking place, I'm excited to see how that goes down. And of course, The Miz, the wild card The Miz, who you would obviously think is going to get knocked out so fast. That could happen. I think The Miz could just get KO punched or shell shocked so early in the match, come back and steal a win, and slowly rise, because I wouldn't say they've botched The Miz really, but some potential storylines, say with Damien Sandow, were not played out to their full potential. They haven't shown off The Miz as much as they do, and I think he's a really good property. He's got charisma. Miz TV, much like, say, a Raw is Jericho, is something that is very important to the entertainment factor of Raw itself. And I think building up The Miz, pushing him further, giving him new, unpredictable storylines is going to be interesting, because if, say, Rollins loses, and I'm going to relate the two, if, say, Rollins loses at SummerSlam, it's important to have that one character, that one cheapskate, the one character, say, like an Edge, who always gets lucky, who always gets away. And The Miz is that character who will do the cheapskate thing of, being an opportunist, taking advantage of either beating down Big Show or beating down Ryback, taking the championship, and then continuing on for the next few months, doing devious things like that to retain the championship. I think that would be a very good move for The Miz. Moving on, Randy Orton versus Sheamus is a match I'm, of course, excited about. They have faced off against each other a lot. It's an important match for both characters. I was viewing just the storyline of the past few months from WrestleMania to now from a much larger perspective, how WWE loves to go from one WrestleMania to the next. If you look at what happened at the end of WrestleMania 31 with the Money in the Bank cash-in, and Randy Orton, despite beating Seth Rollins, not becoming champion, losing in Extreme Rules because of Kane, losing in a Fatal 4-Way, coming back soon, and now dominating that. He dominated that triple threat with Owens and Cesaro, by the way, which was a great, great match. However, since then, he almost won the championship as well, and it was Sheamus who came in and wanted to cash in, and then they had that kind of clash. The stipulation could have been for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't think that's the case. I think Orton is, within the next year and a half, a potential champion. He's going to be a strong contender soon. However, Sheamus needs this win. I'm going to say it. Sheamus needs to win this match because he won the Money in the Bank, and since then, he has done nothing incredibly significant apart from walk out of a lot of matches, which is unfortunate because Sheamus he said that in the promo itself, like, he is one of those people, and I think physically and with his in-ring presence, he can be that warrior, and he can bring that beastliness that a lot of superstars, do possess, and he could usher in a new era of this more, aggressive sense with regards to WWE Championship. Having people like Reigns and Sheamus and Lesnar fight off would be amazing matches to see, and I think would really elevate the WWE World Heavyweight Championship itself. So I think having Sheamus win this match is very, very important. Even if it's by some dirty means, it's what needs to happen at this point. And Sheamus could cash in at SummerSlam as well. Do not forget, he almost cashed in on Rollins. And after the Rollins-Cena match, which I think is going to be a firecracker of a match. These two faced off in a triple threat with Brock Lesnar once, and the bits where they fought together were almost equally matched. Cena has shown his fighting spirit, whether it was the broken nose, which, my God, once again, one of the best matches of the year. He fought. He went by the words of never give up. He's back with, of course, a bit of a, wardrobe change, and he is ready to go. And this title for title thing is very exciting. It is so exciting because out of these two, it's hard to say who'll win because on the one hand, Rollins has had such a great run so far, and he could just get lucky again, as he did at Battleground, as he did at Extreme Rules, as he has so much in the past. Even on Raw when Sheamus interfered, he could get lucky again. There could be some interference from the Authority. You never know. J&J could come back. Kane could come back, which I'll, of course, address later on with the Undertaker match. But really, I think Rollins winning this could do well because he could just push his reign further and further, and he could actually slowly prove himself a little bit more through this match, through fighting in this match, though he's not going to have a clean win. It's a slim chance that he's going to have a clean win against John Cena. On the other hand, of course, John Cena, I mean, the crowd is slowly getting back with him because of his fighting spirit, the matches he's put up lately with Cesaro, with Owens, with Rollins on Raw itself. I mean, he is doing so incredibly well, and for this to be a 16-time win, to tie the record, it's a big thing. A lot of people are speculating it might not be enough to beat Rollins for him to, reach that level and reach this record. I think maybe breaking the record should happen from, say, a legend or a more established superstar. Not to take anything away from Rollins. He's fantastic. But really, this match is so unpredictable, and that's what I like about it. And I think Cena, Rollins, and Owens and Cesaro are my pegs for what will be the match of the night, just in terms of, you know, not just length, they'd be like long 20-25 minute matches or so, but they're going to be really well contested, unpredictable, heart-stopping matches, and that's what I'm looking forward to at SummerSlam. There are 10 matches on the card, and I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, I'm not going to forget the match that, you know, started the hype for SummerSlam, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, what has had some of the greatest build-up I've seen. That Raw right after Battleground was crazy. And wait, but before I continue, I just want to say Neville versus Rollins. Rollins got away lucky, but Neville one day is going to come back and win that championship. At the end of this year, I will put it in writing right now. He is going to be an Intercontinental or United States Championship. I hope they do not unify the titles, however. I do not think that is very necessary. Now, back to The Undertaker and Lesnar. I mean, that just had, like, the image of seeing the entire locker room pull Brock Lesnar and Undertaker apart was just such an epic image. For lack of a better word, epic is the right word to describe. I mean, you know, it just showed they're both so highly motivated. They really are. And I think, look, the Undertaker losing this match it'll cement him. It'll leave him almost done and dusted, and I don't think he should lose this match. However, that means that Brock Lesnar has to lose the match, and I think that wow, that's not going to work too well either. I mean, Brock Lesnar, of course, he beat the streak, and there's no coming back for that from the Undertaker. But in this rematch that is called too big for WrestleMania, I think the Undertaker should win this match from a story perspective, because if you bring the Undertaker back after so long, he's finally been on Raw. It's been 14-15 months since. If he loses, it kind of renders it all irrelevant. However, you cannot have the hottest property right now, Brock Lesnar, lose clean, and that's what I'm saying. This main event is what is going to have, I think, an Undertaker win over Brock Lesnar unclean. And the man to interfere and save the day is going to be Kane. Why Kane? It's not just going to be for the Brothers of Destruction to team up one last time. Well, hopefully not one last time, but at least once again. It's also because Kane has been gone. Why? Because his ankle is, well, at least in the kayfabe world, it's been broken by Brock Lesnar. And he's back for revenge as well. So what could happen is that Brock Lesnar's about to win. The referee's knocked out. Kane walks in, hopefully with a mask. Not as the corporate Kane that I have learned to despise, but hopefully as the big red machine sought for destruction. Ready to go, choke slamming Lesnar, teaming up with Undertaker, or maybe going after Undertaker as well, because that could actually be really important. He's definitely going to go after Lesnar, but I don't see Lesnar and Kane fighting much in the future. And this could lead to either a team-up between Undertaker and Kane, but even better, a feud between Undertaker and Kane that could take place over the coming months. He could defeat the Undertaker. This could end in another no-contest main event, which, I mean, honestly, while it's happening a lot, I'd be okay with it. I would be fine with a no-contest main event. But I'm pretty sure, and I'm really hoping that Kane comes in, because that is one of the big reasons, and one of the few reasons I think Lesnar will not win this match. And more than the Undertaker winning, Lesnar needs to not win this match, and Lesnar needs to especially not win it clean. If he wins it clean, the Undertaker's legacy is just going to be tarnished even further for no apparent reason. I'm hoping Kane comes back with the mask, ready for destruction, setting up a feud maybe with Undertaker and Kane, or setting up the Brothers of Destruction. Either way, I'm really excited. And the one last thing I want to talk about is Brock Lesnar's future for the rest of the year, because as I was saying earlier, I've been looking at the storylines more from a full year-round perspective in terms of just, you know, how they work, trying to understand and see how they take place, how they're built up. And with a man like Lesnar, who's been wrestling a lot less often, although he has been booked for a live show taking place Madison Square Garden October 3rd, so you're likely to see him return soon. I'm really curious to see how they deal with him in the coming months after this match, irrespective of the result. A new feud, another potential championship run, maybe. But the thing is that it was JR himself who on his blog said that he made a bold prediction, a prediction that I actually would not mind seeing. You know, Lesnar maybe being defeated now, maybe by some unclean way, coming back, winning a fight, but then getting beaten up by the Authority or someone or the other and being driven out. And then returning at the Royal Rumble, beating everyone, taking his place back at the top at the main event of WrestleMania. I think this year, if you look at where it started the day after WrestleMania, with Lesnar just being banished from Raw and SmackDown and WWE itself, and then returning for Rollins, and now returning for The Undertaker, and returning for future feuds, I think could see him at the main event of WrestleMania. This could be the year of Lesnar, and I'm just excited to see how the WWE goes about pushing this man who is already at the top even higher. So, final predictions. Dolph Ziggler is going to beat Rusev. PCB is going to win the 9-woman tag team championship match. Owens and Cesaro, it's going to be a win-win either way, but my money's on Cesaro. Neville and Stephen Amell take home the win. The Fatal 4-Way, I think Primetime players retain. I'm going to say Primetime players retain, although the dark horse is, of course, the New Day. Tag team match, Ambrose and Reigns win, but there's going to be some kind of interesting storyline turn. Triple threat Intercontinental, I'm going to say The Miz walks home with it. WWE Championship, United States Championship, if I had to make a prediction, Cena wins, although I'm really not sure about that. I think Sheamus is going to beat Orton, and I think The Undertaker, if there's a winner in that match, although my prediction is a no contest, I think The Undertaker is going to go home with the win, setting up what is hopefully a lot more after what I believe, and I'm hoping, and it's for me the most anticipated, but I hope becomes the biggest event of the summer.